If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, then winter is here, and it can feel like a time to hibernate, but it's also a great time to get out and ride. Whilst there is no replacement for proper kit, it can be quite expensive. So this is the way to get out in the cold and wet on a budget. Waterproof socks can make life worth living when it comes to smashing through puddles, but they come at a price. What doesn't come at a price are super simple plastic bags. Now, the way to do this is double up on your socks. Just go one layer, then the plastic bags, and then another layer of sock over the top so you're not slipping around inside your shoes. Yes, it's totally waterproof. No, it's not breathable. So only do this if you're not going to get super sweaty, otherwise your feet are going to get cold and wet just through sweat. Whilst they're not as cheap as plastic bags, my winter hack is to get yourself down TK Maxx, root around and find some thick merino wool socks. Hopefully it won't cost you too much. And although you will still get wet feet in winter, they should stay warm. Just like your feet, your hands are really susceptible to the cold. So a nice little hack, a bit like the plastic bags, is to get some nitrile gloves. These are super thin, so they really won't make a massive difference to your feel of the bar. Also, they'll fit under any pair of gloves. So slide them on, and then underneath your normal gloves. Completely waterproof and windproof, which is a big thing in winter, especially if you're going to be riding fast. Also, the great thing about this is your hands are much less likely to be sweaty like your feet. So the sweat from the inside out is going to be much less of a problem. When things get wet, they get slippery, so that includes all your controls and contact points on the bike. So if you're really riding a lot in winter, it might be good to think about what you can do to those. It's this little bit of grip tape, like sort of skateboard grip tape I've got on my shifter. It's really nice in wet conditions. You can also do the same to your brake levers and dropper posts. Crank Brothers actually make their own little ones to fit nicely on their dropper post lever. Or you could use something like this self-emulsifying silicone tape. So this basically sticks to itself. So you can wrap it around your lever and it'll stick nicely. So it'll give you more grip, but also nice little bonus. If you're riding in really cold conditions, that'll give you a bit of insulation away from the metal of your brake levers. Layering is really important in winter months, as we'll find today as the rain comes down. I've got a waterproof layer on top, and then I've got my normal riding jersey, but also underneath I've got a merino base layer. So the great thing with layering is if you get too hot, you can take one off. So just like adding a waterproof shell to an insulation or a normal riding top, it's super useful. Obviously you're gonna have to put your jacket somewhere, so you might need to have a riding backpack with you. But the great thing about layering is you can sort of really make it 4 seasons of clothing. So I can wear this jersey in summer. In autumn, I can just add that base layer to it. And then in winter, I've got my jacket on top. So although it does mean having a bit more equipment, you can use it all year round. You'll get much more enjoyment out of that post-ride beer if you're not soaking cold and wet, as we've found out loads of times. So what I like to do in winter is get changed into my riding kit at home and then take a spare set of clothes in whatever vehicle I'm going in. Plus, always in the side of my car, I've got that emergency set of spare socks, just in case I ever forget. So nice to have them there ready. This is a bit of a techie one that I'm stealing from Doddy, but using Moto Foam to stop mud sticking to your bike is a really good idea. So it's called Moto Foam because it's from motocross basically. This is a sump foam, so to go underneath your sump guard. Basically, motocross mechanics use this to stop mud getting stuck into these places and adding loads of weight to a bike. With a mountain bike, you can cut this up and just stick it to your bike where mud might accumulate, but also it can cause some extra wear and tear to the bike. So places like this where you've got a bit of space right inside, sort of between that seat tube and the linkage, or between the chainstay, so you can add a bit of foam there to stop mud getting shoved down in there. So you're gonna have to try and find this at your local motocross dealership. Silicone spray, or what I like to call BS spray, because you put this all over your bike when you're about to sell it, makes it look nice and shiny and new. Basically, this is the slipperiest of stuff. So this is another moto hack. They'd spray it underneath the bike, especially on the plastics, underneath the mud guards, so that mud shouldn't stick to it quite as much. It'll hit it and hopefully slide off. The thing about this stuff is if you get a drop of this on your brakes, it's going to ruin them. So use this sparingly underneath your mud guards or on the bottom of your bike, even on your shoes, to try and stop mud sticking to it quite as much. I've shown you a couple of motocross inspired hacks. Now time for a golf inspired hack. Yes, that's right. They love these things. These are chemical hand warmers. So you can click these, stick them in the back of your glove, and they're great for warming up your hands on the coldest of days, or even after a ride. If you want an instant morale boost, keep some of these in the car. Cold hands are miserable, so these definitely will help. Now, I've left this one to the very end because it might be slightly controversial, but when it's really cold and wet, I like to wear one of those little roadie hats. So they're made out of really thick material, so basically the water just runs straight off it. Also, when it's windy, I always wear my vented helmet, so it just stops that wind getting through and it keeps my head nice and warm. I know not everyone's going to like the way they look, but I love it when it's cold and wet. Now, if you want to see another video from GMBN where me and Dolly talk about the merits of wearing winter boots, down there for that one. Do you really need them? Plus, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification as well, so every time we upload a video, you'll know about it. Give us a thumbs up.